Hi, Scott Orlin with Cinema Magazine. Every so often you get to sit in front of an incredibly bright star, and in this case, Meryl Streep, the movie The Post.
Thank you.
I just wanted to take you back to your youth and childhood. What did the newspaper mean to you and your family?
The funnies, it meant the funny papers. And the advice column, that's what I remember reading as a kid. But my family was rock solid Republican. And they were hardworking, middle-class people who came up to the point of the Vietnam War, so that was when I was in high school. And the schism happened in our family. My father remained a Nixon supporter, and my mother flipped. My mother never went back. She said, no. They betrayed us, you know. They betrayed our promise. And so this film, centered on that time, it was such a volatile time. So many things were happening, politically, societally, culturally. And it's so much fun to watch this. I just saw the film, and all finished, and I've been watching Ken Burns' Vietnam series. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's extraordinary. And as underwriting this, the importance of all these things, it just took me back in time to that moment when things shifted in my house, you know.
And I want to ask you too, because obviously you can look at this movie and think about the power of the newspaper and freedom of the press, but it's also an interesting time about women starting to assert themselves into business, and the reaction that men had, that they didn't know how to deal with this. Things haven't changed much in 40 years.
In 40 years. But the deed isn't done yet, and we shouldn't expect it to be. I mean, things were run for 40,000 years, one way, until the middle of the last century. That's the way things were. When I grew up, there was still, in the wedding vows, there was still love, honor, and obey. I mean, that's breathtaking to me. I went to many weddings where that was still in there. So how the human family organized itself is, I mean, it's no wonder we're having birth pains into the future, because it's changing faster than our little meat packages, you know, I think. The world is changing.
You know, a lot of times, if I can use a sports metaphor, there's an all-star game.
Of course you can.
There's an all-star game every so often. Every sport has it. And this felt like I was watching a cinematic all-star game.
Oh.
Did you have a fanboy moment? Do you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm working with the best?
I tell you, when there was a day where I did feel that. I really did feel that. But, you know, I've made a lot of movies with a lot of different people, but Steven Spielberg really surprised me. He surprised me with how improvisatory, free, and spontaneous his filmmaking was. I thought he'd be kind of like he'd have his guys and there'd be a formula and everybody know their place. That is not it. That is not how that set ran. That set was exciting. It was like Recess, you know, with one guy in charge. But he was so open to people's improvisation. You know, there's so many things I could tell you. I mean, it was just plain, flat out fun to work with him. And Tom is like his, I don't know, his doppelganger. He's a manifestation of that same energy. Tom is endlessly creative, smart as a whip, ready and professional, and that sounds like a small thing, but it's not. It's my highest accolade. He is creative in the toughest moments, and I was really astonished by it. I woke up every day, I said to my husband, I can't wait to go to work, you know, because that's the way it was. And I never expected that at this point in my life.
Well, I think they were excited to work with you too. Meryl Streep, thank you. Congratulations on this movie. And this
Thank
is
you.
Scott Orlin. Until next time.